Hey everyone, it's Brandon Crane from Stephen King's It here at the London Film and Comic Con. I know there's some questions from Reddit and I wanted to take a few minutes to answer them. What was it like working with Tim Curry? Working with him was an exercise in focus, was like a masterclass.
Hello everyone, my name is Adam Faraizl. I was Eddie Kaspbrak in the original It. I guess the easiest one to answer so far is going to be from Flunk Waffle. Was Tim Curry just as terrifying in real life? Absolutely not. He's a legend. He was a fantastic person to work with. It was excellent.
Hello, I'm here at London Comic Con. My name is Emily Perkins. I played Beverly Marsh in Stephen King's It. Tim Curry, in real life, he was a bit of a method actor, so he didn't really talk to us kids when we were filming It, other than when he was in his costume. And so he would kind of sit in his cast chair, chain smoking, and when the kids would walk by, he'd go, "Arr," and show us all his scary teeth. So he was a little bit of a creepy guy.
Hello from London Comic Con Spring. My name is Ben Heller, young Stan in 1990 version of It. Was Tim Curry as terrifying in real life as he was as Pennywise? In real life, very approachable, very nice man, but I'm sure he could be very terrifying if he wanted to be.
Welcome to London Comic Con 2019 in the spring. My name is Marlon Taylor, played the young Mike Hanlon in Stephen King's It. Here to have a wonderful day and talk to you guys for a second. Tim Curry, really scary. Not Tim Scary, but was Tim Curry really scary in real life? It's weird when you have somebody that comes out in a costume like that with all that makeup and then just starts talking to you like they're a normal person. And every time we talked to him outside of actually performing, that's what he would do. I mean, he would talk to us like we were just sitting there having a conversation. So he wasn't necessarily scary at that point, but then right after that, we'd have to go and do a scene after he made us laugh, and then we'd have to go and try and be scared or afraid after he just made us laugh. So, you know, we had to do a little bit of acting to try and convey how scared we were of Tim Curry. But no, man, he was a real fun person to deal with outside of being Pennywise.
Next question is going to be from The Gentleman DM, my favorite memory from shooting. There were a lot. I would have to say that just being in Stanley Park, like filming everything in Vancouver, was a fantastic experience. Like being down there in the barren scenes where we actually all build the dam, that was pretty phenomenal. Just because it was like half done for us, the setup, and then we got to play around with the rest of it and like actually build a dam and do the water and the ferns and everything. Like everything you see in all the pictures was, I mean, it was a great location to shoot in. And the funny thing was, like, some of the other parts where Pennywise he's seen out floating and standing on the water, that was just right around the corner, like right down the stream from where we actually filmed the dam part. And then, of course, I have to say filming the shower scene. I mean, that was the most intense part of filming for me, just because it was a solo scene for me, and also because there was a lot going on. There's taking direction from Tommy Lee Wallace over a loudspeaker system, reacting to Tim Curry's lines, all the grips, pushing the metal poles out of the wall and the sound of the water spray, and then having to do all my lines and hit all the marks and everything. It was an intense experience.
One funny thing that happened was I was supposed to be the one who was really good with the slingshot. And I killed the monster with like the magic silver earrings. But in fact, like, I had a hard time with the slingshot, and one time I actually shot the earrings into the matte box of the camera, and it ricocheted around the lens, almost broke the lens. So, and it was like, the camera was actually positioned quite far from where I was supposed to be aiming, so it was a little bit embarrassing.
While we're all working around in that sewer at the very end, the director would talk to Tim and say, "Hey Tim, I want you to stand here, do this. And Tim's like, "Sure, I'll do whatever you know, okay, you want me to stand here? Great." And then the moment he would hit, or he'd say action, it's like this nuclear reactor would go off, right? And we were bombarded with this energy from Tim, and that made us truly afraid to be in that room with him.
That's what I remember the most, you know, was just having fun, hanging out with these guys, having fun filming, having fun just on the different location sites that we were going to, and just acting silly and being teenagers.
Did we have any idea how much of a cult hit that the movie would be? The answer is a resounding no, because there were feature films out. There was Pet Sematary, and Misery was coming, and ours was made for television. And back then, it was rare for television movies to pick up that kind of steam. So none of us expected 28, 29 years later that our film would become a cult classic. We're thankful for the fans for keeping it going.
That is no. I was a tiny baby at the time, 12 years old. I knew that I was acting in a very important production. I knew that it was Stephen King, and I understood who Stephen King was. I understood how famous the older actors that were going to be in the miniseries were. John Ritter, and I grew up watching Night Court, so Harry Anderson and all those people. My mom was a huge fan of Annette O'Toole. But at the time, I knew it was going to be a big movie, but I had no idea that it would take on the sort of life that it has taken on and has continued to hold on to until this day.
I think what attracted me to the film industry when I was a child was the possibility of telling stories. I thought, like, hey, stories can change the world. I was very idealistic. Like, after working in the film industry for some years, I wasn't quite so idealistic. I realized that a lot of the stories were quite repetitive and not necessarily like transformative, but I still think it has wonderful potential as a creative medium, and I'm really grateful that I got the chance to work in the film industry and create some unique characters that I think connected with people.